Someone's favorite superhero can say a lot about a person, but you know what can say more about them? If your favorite superhero is an X-Men character. So let's dive into these X people and see what they say about you. There's no way you didn't know that we were going to start with Wolverine himself. First off, you grew up with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, obviously. And while you, like everyone else in the world, appreciates the popularity and depth he's brought to the character, now you just can't help but mention, actually, Wolverine is not meant to be tall, he's meant to be 5 foot something, so his portrayal is actually kind of discrimination. Like, oh my god, we get it. I'm sure the MCU will get it right with their version. I don't need to hear it 100 fucking times. Even despite this is the same person who would interject a conversation about how underrated Logan is and rant about why it's not considered up there with the Dark Knight. You want to know why your opinion isn't respected? It's because you're also trying to convince me that X-Men Origins Wolverine isn't as bad as everyone says it is. And you know what? I kind of agree, but that's not the point here. Also, you know those hypothetical discussions when someone asks what superpower you have? This is how it would go if a Wolverine fan was there. So, what superpower would you pick, man? I think I'd pick Wolverine, you know, with the metal claws and the healing. It sounds pretty sick, you know? Whoa. Incorrectamundo, okay? Everything you just said, wrong. So first of all, Wolverine's adamantium claws, they're a result of a Black Ops military experiment, okay? So you just be getting bone claws, you wouldn't be getting the metal claws. And second of all, Wolverine's healing factor, it doesn't discount all the pain he feels every time he gets shot, stabbed, or thrown off a cliff. And also, you just be feeling 6 stabbing motions every time you want to use your claws. Okay, if you want that, cool, fine. And also, third of all, Wolverine's powers, one of them is slowly aging. You might think that's cool, but you're just destined to outlive your loved ones, your family, your friends. Yeah, that sounds sick. You want to see your parents die in front of you? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so you want to see your parents die in front of you. Okay, cool. That's not a superpower. That's a curse. But whatever, up to you. Who invited you? Just broke into my house. Who are you? There are only 2 reasons as to why you would really love Colossus, okay? So first reason, you're of Russian descent and you're tired of Western media portraying Russians as either angry mob boss or enemy of the United States. Second reason, you were fat as a child or really skinny as a child. So Colossus is like the ideal powerhouse you wish you could have been. Or, let's add another reason here, you were physically abused as a child. Well, someone liked the X-Men animated series, didn't they? Or X-Men 97, I don't care, shut up. The reason why I bring up the animated series and not any of the movies is because, let's be honest, no one out here is saying, dude, the best part of the X-Men movie was Rogue. Like, she was alright, I guess. I also bet that if your favorite superhero is Rogue, you're really quick to remind people that the Rogue cut for X-Men Days of Future Past exists. And by the way, yes, it adds to the story, yes, it's better, yes, it's worth your time. You know what's not worth your time though? When trailers came out for X-Men 97 and some fans started complaining that Rogue didn't have a bubblegum ass like that one meme. And these were not real Rogue fans, obviously. These were just people who just hopped on to the Rogue fan bandwagon to just find something to complain about against like, the woke system is holding us and suppressing us down, give us back our ass. Like, they don't acknowledge that one meme was a one-off shot in the entire series, which is why it became a meme. So, surprise, these people have no idea what they're talking about. Nightcrawler might honestly be the safest answer to this question apart from Wolverine. Not only does he have 0 flaws, awesome powers, and an awesome look, but he's also like the one X-Men character that gets treated well consistently by writers. Also, if you're in this category, don't lie to me. I know. You've probably jerked off to that opening scene of X-Men 2 a couple 100 times. I know.
Let go, Jean! Jean, let go!
If you're a guy and you pick Jean Grey to be your favorite superhero of all time, prepare to be called a little horny bastard. Let's get this out of the way. The Jean Grey you should like is the badass that would kill hundreds and thousands of people for her homies. If you like the Jean Grey that's used as a plot device between Cyclops and Wolverine, then I have this to tell you. Go outside and talk to a woman in real life. Also, can we address the fact that no one really knows what her superhero name is anymore? It used to be Marvel Girl, but is that really her name now? I feel like no one really calls her that. I guess you could call her Phoenix or Dark Phoenix, but that's like calling Spider-Man Venom just because he wore the symbiote a couple times. Like, is her name just Jean Grey now? This is where I ask for the real Jean Grey fans to stand up.
Maximum effort.
Yes, I know, he's not technically part of the X-Men, he's a mutate, not a mutant. Oh my god, shut the fuck up. Listen man, I've already shared my distaste for the Deadpool fandom multiple times. I made a whole video on it, I brought it up in my Marvel vs DC showdown, and I'm gonna bring it up again. Deadpool fans are undoubtedly the smelliest people you'll ever come across in the entire planet. They're either at your local Comic-Con dressed as Deadpool trying to inappropriately touch women, or they're a 12-year-old boy who disregards the benefits of a regular shower. Deadpool fans are also the most butthurt people ever. I swear to god, they walk around with a baseball bat just shoved up their ass. Oh, he has a magic bag where he can pull out any weapon ever to kill your favorite superhero? Sick, dude. How about I grab that magic bag, put it over your head, so you can just shut the fuck up for a second. Storm. So what do I gotta say about Storm fans apart from the fact that their population is tiny as hell? 9 times out of 10, Storm is not your favorite superhero. She could be your second favorite superhero, she could be your favorite X-Men character, but these Storm fans are fighting against the tides, okay? Jesus, let's give them a break. Especially when her most iconic scene in the movies was a joke that made zero fucking sense.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? Same thing that happens to everything else.
I always like that line though, but maybe it's because it works better with today's anti-humor, Instagram Reels type of comedy rather than it did back then. Also, I feel like I need to address this because otherwise I'll get a bunch of comments asking me why I didn't address it. So there was a rumor that the original script for the X-Men, it had this ongoing joke where Toad would be like, you know what happens when a toad blah 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 blah, and then he'd do something crazy, and that will repeat throughout the whole movie. So by Storm saying that, it's kind of a twist on the joke and it's like a big laugh. Another rumor is that Joss Whedon actually wrote this line and Halle Berry stuffed it up by performing it wrong. Mr. Whedon, they're in the middle of a battle. I don't know if you wanted her to sing it in fucking soprano, but either way, it was gonna be a strange line.
Now!
Did I get him?
Yeah.
First of all, let's face it, 90% of this population comes from fans of X-Men 97. And you know what? Cyclops fans were kinda cool before their numbers outweighed the entire population of Papua New Guinea. Now every time someone brings up Cyclops, someone has to be like, oh man, you know those Fox movies? They really did Cyclops dirty, am I right guys? Has anyone said that yet? No, it's my, yeah, those movies did Cyclops really dirty. Holy shit, we get it. Oh my god. If I have to hear this unique take one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind. And this is coming from a Cyclops fan. And it's always these video essay people who say the exact same thing. Why Cyclops needs respect. The MCU has to get Cyclops right. Marvel needs Cyclops. Like, are all these YouTubers in a human centipede or something? Jesus, we get it. The MCU needs to get Cyclops right. And where was my invite to this human centipede? And they're always chucking around hashtag Cyclops was right. Like, what is this, WrestleMania? Jesus. My biggest fear as a Cyclops fan is that Cyclops becomes way too popular, because part of the fun of liking Cyclops was the fact that no one likes Cyclops. And if you're gonna say, Andy, are you trying to gatekeep one of the most popular Marvel characters of all time? Like, what are you doing? And my response is yes, that is exactly what I'm doing. It's the same way I don't want my favorite movie to be too popular. I don't want someone's response to my favorite movie to be like, oh yeah, my whole family watched that. And we're so glad that it beat Avatar in the box office. I swear to god, as a kid, I used to consider Wolverine to be my favorite superhero, but then one day I realized that Cyclops is my favorite X-Men character and I like him way more than Wolverine. That was when I stopped having a favorite superhero. I could go on and on about these X-Men characters, but that's all I'm gonna do this week. Check out my Instagram, check out my second channel for vlogs, check out my letterbox, and yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye.
10:15 in the open night, I can't help that I feel so lonely. How many times do I have to die when I lie trying to heal the old me?